Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Late Night Dental Marketing Talk. I'm your host, Paul Spezielli, or Paul on Dental Town. It is now 3:12 in the morning. I hope you had your cup of coffee or your beer, and we're going to be talking tonight about how to fill up your schedule and feel more busy. That's a question I get a lot from dentists because they have holes in their schedules and they call me up and say, Paul, I have holes in my schedule. Fix it, please. I'm suffering here. Now, obviously, holes in your schedule is causing a lot of problem, and the cost is incredible. So I'm going to be going over a few strategies in order to fill those holes up. That's what she said. Oh, I had to do it. I had to say it. I'm sorry. It had to be said. So anyways, let's go over a few strategies. And the first strategy that I want to talk to you about is, before we talk about the strategies in order to fill up your schedule, I want to ask you, what service do you want to fill your schedule up with? Do you want to fill it up with big cases such as implants, Invisalign if you're doing Invisalign, lumineers, that kind of thing, or full mouth restorations? Or do you want to fill it up with bread and butter dentistry? The reason why I ask that is because the strategy somewhat differs for each type of thing you want to fill it up with. Now, we can do something where you get everything all at once, but it's a lot less effective than focusing in on one of those types of services and just filling you up with that one. Now, the first and best way to fill up your schedule, and the easiest way that you can accomplish right now, actually after this video you should be able to do something about this and then recover some of your costs that way, and that is to prevent cancellations. Cancellations are one of the worst. The flakiness of people, a certain percentage of them have emergencies, of course, but a large percentage of them are flaky, and you end up costing you. You have your staff sitting around doing nothing. You have your front staff scrambling to call to fill that schedule hole up. You have you sitting around doing nothing. You have operational charges that are accruing every single minute that hole is there and that no one's showing up. And you have a lack of respect from the patient to your office. They don't care. But it's not necessarily anyone's fault. What the problem is that they're sort of trained to not care. People these days are very pragmatic, so they put their attention where their attention is wanted the most. So if they're treated, if they're not reminded about their cancellation, if they're not treated properly, then they will keep canceling. The other thing is, you can't really enforce a pay for a missed appointment, because chances are that if you look back in your history, was there any time when you canceled on them or moved them around and they were obliged to do that? So some people can get mad at that. Now, of course, you don't want flaky people in your office, and so you can get rid of them. But at the same time, here are some strategies to cut down on cancellations right away. A lot of times I discovered that listening to, because I track all the calls that come in through the office from the marketing, and sometimes existing patients get into the marketing number after a while because they have seen and used that marketing number all the time. So what happens is I'm listening to the call. Now, I'm hearing an existing patient call in to cancel, or I'm hearing a staff member talk about how, so I'm hearing a staff member talk about confirming the appointment. Now, sometimes I hear something like, if you need to cancel or change your appointment, just call us back. Now, that's a problem because you're giving them a verbal way out. You're almost telling them, yeah, you can cancel whenever you want, it's not a big deal. Now, if you change it to something like, oh, well, if you just assume they're going to be there and just say, well, I'll see you tomorrow. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Instantly, that gets rid of a lot of that problem. The other thing is education. If you're always educating your patients that cancellations can last minute cancellations are very disruptive to your office and they need to know that. And it's not a big problem to let them know that last minute cancellations. Don't tell them that everyone's canceling, because that's a social proof thing. Social psychologists have determined that whatever you say the average person is doing, a person looking at that to determine their behavior will do that behavior. So if you say everyone's littering, and so if you say everyone's littering, don't litter, they're just going to litter, because if everyone's doing it, they're going to do it. So, but you still have to educate them on cancellations. You say, cancellations are very disruptive to our office, and they cause us, great cost. And in order to prevent rising costs in the future, or some type of thing, then please respect the 48-hour rule. So that's one thing. The other way to prevent cancellations, and that I've determined, is through one of my promotions that I put in is called the best month ever promotion. Now, instead of sort of taking away someone from their obligation to cancel, what it's doing is providing a benefit to keep their appointment. And through the best month ever promotion, we've seen a reduction in cancellations because of what they're getting when they come in. And we've seen, even during the month the promotion's been in, we've seen even people moving up their appointment just to come in and do the they had appointments 6 months from now, they moved it to this month. And that's an interesting thing, because most times people don't want to go to the dentist. They fear the dentist, and so therefore they're pushing their appointment up just to come in. And that's one of the benefits of the best month ever promotion. It cuts down on cancellations. It gets them really committed to it. They even have to sign a paper saying they won't cancel less than 48 hours. You can't get much better than a written commitment from someone. The other way to fill up your schedule, okay, that was cancellations.